Analyst and Associate Fellow at the Royal United Services Institute, also a doctoral student at Harvard. He's here to discuss some of the issues around the death of bin Laden. Let's start by talking about the relevance of this. It's 10 years since 9/11, and bin Laden's been in hiding for most of that time. Now he's dead. What difference does it make?
Well, there's a vast gap in the symbolic and the practical significance of this. Symbolically, this is a moment of utter catharsis for the United States. He was the one that got away. Famously at Tora Bora in 2001, he eluded American Special Forces. Practically speaking, however, we know Al-Qaeda is a franchise organisation. Its most powerful members are affiliates. They're not core members of Al-Qaeda. We're talking about people like Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, AQAP, responsible for the famous underpants bomber of a couple of years ago. Those affiliate groups may distance themselves a little bit as the central brand diminishes in prestige, but they will remain very potent threats to come.
So what happens now? Do those affiliate groups push themselves further away from the core because the core is seen as weakened, or do they take the other approach and start to retaliate against the death of bin Laden?
I think retaliation is actually unlikely on a major scale. These groups are rational, calculating groups. They have an objective, which is to inflict damage on the far enemy, the United States and its allies. They will not engage in petty violence just for symbolic, gestural politics. They have an objective. That's to wreak significant destruction on Western Europe, North America, and those countries' allies. They will continue to plot, and in fact, if they symbolically distance themselves from the brand, it doesn't mean they are any less able to recruit, to plan complex operations, and retain their presence in places like Yemen, Afghanistan, which is a very small presence, but elsewhere as well, including some parts of Libya even.
I've got some more questions for you.
It's Miles Nadell. I was wondering, the fact that bin Laden's been killed, one of the critical things is their ability to raise money at Al-Qaeda. Do you think that this changes the prospects of further fundraising initiatives for Al-Qaeda, or is it not really that relevant? Because obviously, in order to really eradicate them, if you can reduce their ability to access funding, that's a big thing about training and obviously their ultimate prosperity. Do you think that will be diminished as a result of bin Laden being killed?
I think that's an excellent point, actually. I think we know bin Laden began life as a wealthy Saudi businessman. His personal wealth was significant in funding some of his operations early on, but since then, Al-Qaeda as an organisation has relied on a network of financial flows coming in from places like Saudi Arabia, elsewhere in the Persian Gulf region, other Gulf Arab states. That flow could well diminish because even if the operational capabilities of Al-Qaeda affiliates remain strong, if the brand diminishes in value, we could well see those funding streams not choke away, not completely be stemmed, but actually be diverted to other groups and perhaps go directly to militant groups themselves, directly to Yemen, directly to other parts of Pakistan, including people like Lashkar-e-Taiba.
Shashank, this is Chloe in Singapore. That's the exact point that I want to make. Just because the Al-Qaeda's figurehead has been put to death, does that mean ultimately does this give more weight to the Taliban, because it's a completely separate network and you have a very porous border in southern Afghanistan, and militants are going freely because of the rugged terrain?
That's right. Well, the Afghan Taliban is almost the side story here. The Afghan Taliban were never ideologically committed to Al-Qaeda or its global program of perpetual terrorism. They were a local group. The danger here, of course, is that the attention moves to other more dangerous groups like the so-called Haqqani Network, HQN, which attacks US and NATO troops in Afghanistan, to other groups who were originally focused on India, like Lashkar-e-Taiba, but may widen their focus, and already have done, to places in Western Europe and North America. So those groups may well benefit. On the other hand, I would also suggest that this could be the key moment for the United States to declare victory in Afghanistan, say mission accomplished, and this may pave the way to that withdrawal that has been promised for 2014.
Shashank Joshi, we appreciate your time, military analyst and associate fellow at the Royal United Services Institute. Of course, on this